Hello super friends and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And in today's video we're going to be discussing if today's episode of The Flash, which was episode 419, otherwise entitled Fury Rogue, is this going to be the last time we ever see Wentworth Miller appear on the show, or in the Arrowverse for that matter, as Captain Cold. So if you don't know what I mean by this, in the latest episode of The Flash, which was episode 419, which was called Fury Rogue, we saw the return of Wentworth Miller, who plays Captain Cold throughout the Arrowverse. He returned as Citizen Cold, who is the Earth X version of Captain Cold, who we met during the Crisis on Earth X crossover, and he returned for this episode. And if you are familiar with all this stuff and you know what's going on behind the scenes, you'll know that this is actually the final contracted episode for Wentworth Miller in the entire Arrowverse. So after this episode, he was done. But is this the last time we will ever see him? In real reality, if he wanted this episode to be his final ever appearance, then yes, this could be his final ever episode we will ever see Captain Cold, or any version of Captain Cold. This would be the last time we would ever see him, as he is no longer contractually obligated to do any episodes with the CW. He has simply done them all. He had one episode left of The Flash, which was this episode, and then after that he was done. So now, yes, if Wentworth Miller never ever wanted to return to this universe, then he does not have to. He has no contractual obligation to the CW. It's completely separate, it's all done. So yeah, if he didn't want to come back at all, then that is totally within his right. However, I feel there is masses of potential for this character to come back. Now, obviously, when you look at characters like Earth 1, Captain Cold, he is obviously dead. I mean, he died. Obviously, he did show up in Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, but that was a version before he died and brought to the timeline that they were in, blah blah blah. But the version that we see pop up now is the version we saw in Fury Rogue, which was Citizen Cold, the Earth X Captain Cold. And I feel like there's definitely potential for that version of Captain Cold to come back, especially when you look at episode 19, when he has his big goodbye speech, saying goodbye to all of Team Flash, and he steps through the breach, and he says, you'll never know, and as he sort of smiles at the camera and walks off. And that is a pretty much perfect assumption as to what's going to happen. Is, yeah, I mean, he's gone for now, but he'll probably come back at some point. And also I feel like Citizen Cold is a very much a fan favorite character. I know that I love him, and I apologise for my voice messing up. I've got a really bad throat today, so I apologise for that if I've sounded a bit nasally as well. But he's a fan favourite character, certainly for me, and I really enjoy Citizen Cold, in some aspects even more than Captain Cold. I think he was a very interesting version of that character to see on Earth X. I really like the fact that obviously he's married to the Ray, or he's going to be married to the Ray. I think that's a very cool little story arc that we got introduced here, is that, yeah, he's actually engaged to the Ray. That's very cool. And I really love this version of Captain Cold, so I'm sure that he will return at some point. Also, if Wentworth Miller wanted to come back, I'm sure that the Flash writers or Legends of Tomorrow writers, whichever show he'd go on to, I'm sure they'd be very open to having him back. I'm sure they'd be very much open to be saying, yeah, come on, you can come back, it's all good, it's fine. They would have to definitely pay him, and they wouldn't, if, for example, if they wanted him to come back, they'd have to ask him, and he'd have to accept and make sure he has space in his schedule, because like I said, he's no longer contractually obligated to the CW. But I'm sure he'd be welcoming to come back, because when you look at like another actor like John Barrowman, for example, who plays Malcolm Merlyn on Arrow, he obviously died at the end of season 5, but that was actually his final episode with the CW that he was contractually obligated to do, and he obviously has not returned to this point. But I definitely feel like John Barrowman will come back to Arrow at some point. Maybe not this season, but definitely season 7. I think he will come back, especially because season 7 seems like it could be doing something very interesting with Oliver and potentially even the League of Assassins. So I feel like that is coming back at some point. So if he came back, then Wentworth Miller could also definitely come back. And also, who's to say that we might not even get another Earth version of Captain Cold? What about the Earth 2 Captain Cold, or the Earth 3 Captain Cold, whatever, Earth 19, like we have all these different versions of the multiverse we can go to. We have 53 different Earths, we only know 2 of them, so it'd be very cool if we could go to, another Earth at some point and meet another version of Captain Cold who could help out Team Flash or the Legends, whoever. It'd be sick to have that. And again, I think Wentworth Miller is definitely up for that experimentation, because obviously he really did, he nailed the version of Captain Cold from Earth 1, and then this year, or last year as well, he got to experiment a little bit by playing a different version of that character, by playing Leo Snart, the Earth X version. And also, I feel like, all these different versions, it's just that really awesome concept of having these multiversal characters. Like obviously we had Earth X Captain Cold. Even in this week's episode of The Flash, we saw the Earth X Laurel Lance, Black Siren, which was really cool. You know, she was Siren X, so I love getting the different multiverse versions of characters, and I feel all that potential is definitely there to return for Wentworth Miller. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, it'll help me out a lot, and share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV and get them to join the community. And as always guys, please subscribe for all of your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And with all that said guys, I hope to see you again in my next video.